Living off borrowed time, the clock ticks fast.
You know what time it is.
That'll be the hour they
You know what time it is. You know what time it is, bitch. Bitch. It's industry rule number 4080. How your ass miss a whole 100 shots?
I don't fuck with no hip hoppers.
Yo, man, people love that song, man. That's his one hit.
That's his low key Joe Budden diss right there. Like
he said, low key no hip hop.
I do not fuck with no hip hoppers.
I ain't mad at it, man. I ain't mad at it. I fuck with it though, man. Yeah, it's your boy Mello Digital, Mello Disco, Mello. You know where the dick go, Mello Dee.
Hey, it's your boy DTown, a.k.a. Tuxedo Flask, a.k.a. the intergalactic Asiatic master of everything on the Atlas. And you're listening to Industry Rule number 4080, episode number 19, all up in your ass, ma.
All up in your asparagus, man. So we gonna get into this shit, man. You know, first off, tell them what you got going on, D-Town.
Man, listen, I'm running a huge flash sale right now. You guys.
Flash.
I am selling hoodies, dad hats, snapbacks, fitteds for y'all out there in New York. I'm even going to have the limited Timbs, the D-Town Timbs up. Well, I ain't going to have the Timbs, but, you know, I got...
You said the Timbs, like, you get your New York fans right there.
Oh, man, dead ass B. But, nah, man, I got the online stores popping off. The sale is going on until the 25th, so... Literally, I got everything. I'm selling, you know, with the logo on it, the 100% Hustle, the D-Town logo, the Legendary series that I have up there. Like, you can literally cop something for any time of the year. Hoodies, tank tops, crop tops for the ladies. What else? Ceramic mugs, you know, iPhone cases. I'm selling all of it, man.
All the fly shit. All the fly shit.
You know, make sure you go there, support independent hip hop, support good music, because every dollar from the profits made goes to a charity, which is me. I'm the charity, nigga. Buy some shit.
This cat.
But nah, that's primarily all I got going on, man. And you know, the Money single is on iTunes, eMusic, Rhapsody, Tidal, Spotify, Google Play, Deezer, Pandora, all of that good stuff. So you know what's good, man. Put something in your playlist, man. You know, get some good hip hop in your life, cause you know you out here, you ain't living right.
We talking about rap right now, not dick. It's not dick talk, man. Don't be trying to smooth talk to motherfucking. Oh man, we out.
Hey,
anyways,
leopard pants.
Is that it?
That's it, man. What you got going on?
All right, man. You know, I got the Arctic Mist drum kit, sound kit, whatever you want to call it, man. I got demos on motherfucking YouTube and stuff like that. Ain't gonna talk about that too much, man. It's $10. Go cop it. Get you some good sounds. I'm coming out with another joint soon.
Okay.
You know, if you fuck with trap beats, man, mellodbeats.com, man. I've been on the trap wave heavy lately, you know, mellodbeats.com.
Straight up.
But on some real life shit, if you don't do nothing, go check a nigga Instagram out right now. Go check it out right now, man.
Right
it's
now.
at MELLODEEBEATS, Mello Dee Beats. Go check me out. Scroll through, listen to some beats, see the shit I gotta say, man. You know, the nigga dropped free motherfucking game, free 99, and I'm dropping some more game this upcoming week, Monday, you know, maybe not Monday, but Tuesday more than likely, you know, and I be having shit on my little story and shit like that, all types of beat previews, all types of beats off the YouTube. So everything Mello Dee Beats related, that's the one spot, that's the one-stop shop for all that shit. Mello Dee Beats, the Instagram, go follow it.
Hey, you already know what it is.
Let's get into the show, man, because go ahead.
Don't forget to shout out, you know, the homie Kilo from the regular podcast, you know what I mean? Out here doing his thug dizzle, flourishing, you know what I mean? Prospering.
Yeah.
I will say he dropped I follow him on Instagram, and I follow his Instagram stories, and a couple months back, he was dropping some tips on financial empowerment for niggas.
For niggas.
I don't want to say it like that, but like
For black men.
but he was talking like financial literacy, and I took some of the shit that he was talking from his story and I applied it, and I was like, oh yeah, now I'm balling relatively under control now. You know what I mean? Like, conservative balling is the way to go.
I ain't see the video, so I'm still balling out of control.
Yeah,
It's
see,
crazy.
you got to control your balling. You know what I mean? Like it's cool to ball, but like
100K around my neck. I made $500,000 last year, so I spent big portion of that on chains.
Hey man, that's.
Real quick, I was talking. Oh, well, go ahead.
Oh,
Man.
and also, of course, shout outs to the God. You know what I mean? Jimmy Black over there at Open Secrets. You know what I mean? It's lit. Littington, man. This cat is on fire. Make sure y'all tune into our podcast family. Check them out, man. They doing big things, man. But you was about to say something.
Yeah, this rapper. I made a Facebook status earlier, and I said this rapper. He said he made how much? He said he made $500,000 this year, and he got $100K around his neck. So you spent a fifth of your fucking income on chains.
Niggas are stupid.
So I just don't believe that. So I said.
I mean, did he elaborate on how he made it? Like,
dog, he said that in a rap. So when it's in a rap,
nah,
anything goes,
that's
bro.
Not credible.
Anything goes. So it's like, I said the nigga, he probably made $100,000 and the chains around his neck cost $20,000. I would hate to think a nigga is that bold to be in a city that's big. I'm not gonna say where he's from or nothing like that, and to be lying that bold when he's not even getting, 50K.
Well, let's talk about niggas from big cities that's lying and that's bold and that's balling out of control. Let's talk about your man Joe Olsteen.
Oh
man.
God.
Oh yeah. No,
Jesus.
I'm not pulling no punches, man. I'm pulling up from 40. I'm letting that thing off. Rah, 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 man. First of all, condolences, thoughts, and prayers to everybody impacted by Hurricane Harvey.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? For those of y'all who don't know, it's a hurricane that touched down on the coast and it flooded Houston. It's some of the worst shit that we've seen as far as like a flood goes. And again, not to make light of the situation at all, just thoughts and prayers to those impacted by Hurricane Harvey. Now,
Steve.
no. no, don't
I just imagine the weather forecast.
Baby, don't do that.
I just imagine the weather forecast. And it like, they got Steve Harvey mustache floating across like Texas and motherfucker. Like, that nigga, what did he do with the Miss Columbia shit?
That nigga, Hurricane Steve Harvey. This was meant to. I'm sorry.
This was
not a category 1. This was a category 5. I'm so, like, yo, like
dog,
Steve, you got
who's giving this nigga these envelopes?
Yo, man, like niggas can tell all the jokes but can't read. Like, what the fuck, man?
Jesus.
I'm so sorry. Like, come on, man. Steve Harvey is wild.
But yeah, y'all know what happened with Joel, though.
Yeah, let's get
Not
back.
Ortiz,
Yo,
but Olsteen, the other one. The other O. So, he had the shit popping off, man. I ain't even gonna get too much into what happened because it's such a national controversy. But my whole thing was, this is how I looked at it at first. I'm like, he said that the city hadn't even opened their, shelters or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So why should he open his church before then? He also said, the second thing, the church was not flooded. People in Houston went to the churches, multiple videos, multiple pictures.
TMZ was there.
So there you go. So that whole shit, that's dead. He didn't even say the church was flooded, for real. He said he had to make sure everything was good at the church.
My nigga, you come on, man.
But also, he said he let out a press statement after the pressure saying, once these other places fill up, I'll open up my shit. On top of that, you got to have a lot of staff and stuff like that there. You can't just let people in the church and shit like that. So I was looking at all the variables, and I was like, at the end of the day, he opened his church. Now, the reason I feel like he's catching a lot of flack, and this is from what people said, I don't follow him or nothing like that, but it's not really hard to read between the lines. They're trying to say he's like, a con artist preacher, and I know people who worked at InfoCision who had campaigns where they had to sell shit. Somebody said if they pronounce, because it's Joel Olsteen, it's not Olsteen. He said if there are people who pronounce the L in his last name, have them terminated. He insisted.
Man, listen, that nigga, listen, ain't nothing gonna keep us from taking, he gonna take this L. There's an L in his name where you can't just remove the L. Like, you that L is there to stay,
we didn't
man.
take it.
Yeah,
you
man.
gotta hold it. You gotta hold that L in your last name.
You gotta hold that Ellington, man.
You know, the church, they get money tax free and shit like that, and these millionaire baller church, you know, pastors and preachers and stuff like that. Yeah, let me finish. But yeah, you know, they be getting money, and they get the money through the offerings and things like that. So the community has paid for this Houston stadium to become a church. You know, they paid for that through the offerings and through the tithes and all that. So open it to the people. It shouldn't even be a question. I could understand that.
My thing is, some of the stuff I've seen online is people are like, oh, well, you know, y'all spend hundreds of dollars at the motherfucking club. Why don't y'all evacuate to the motherfucking club? And it's like, listen, time out, fam. Like, this dude has a moral obligation. The club don't got no obligation. That's not even a part of this. And that's the whole problem. Like, it shouldn't have been he didn't say that, but it shouldn't have been a whole well, the city didn't tell me they needed any help. Nigga, you supposed to be a man of God. You have a moral obligation, regardless of how you feel about these people, the situation, your money, this, that, and the third. You have a moral obligation to help the community and to help your followers. Like, that's just religion 101. You know what I mean? Help your fellow man. Stop me if I'm lying. You know what I mean? But
so this is my thing.
Go for it.
Because everything you said, I agree with. He opened a church.
Yeah, but the whole narrative that he said was this is the problem, okay? The problem isn't that he opened the church. The problem is he implies that I wasn't going to open the church until somebody called me. Nigga, you've got the resources, the privilege, the position, the influence. You've got everything to help these people. The city shouldn't have to ask you to do that shit as long as everything is in good condition. That shouldn't even have been a part of the conversation. And that's where he's getting fried at. You know what I mean? Because once Twitter caught wind of that shit.
I seen him interviews, man. They was killing him on him. He was killing himself with some of them responses in the interview. I can't lie.
Oh, yeah, nah, man. That cat went on a fucking tour. That cat went on Fox News, Fox, NBC, MSNBC.
They asked this cat. So when, you know,
CNN.
How long do you expect him to be there? They was on like, you know, and I forget what it was, but the face he made.
Oh, that cat grimaced like,
man. He was like, yeah, one of those, like, you know, Sunday we still can't stop the income. Gotta have service on Sunday.
Listen, we just trying to get these niggas out of here as fast as humanly possible. I mean, we don't
want motherfuckers coming to the church and it be smelling crazy because nigga, we don't got showers.
My motherfucker.
He did say that. You know, it's not really a shelter, so I understand it. But yeah, niggas don't got showers, so niggas is out there smelling like 4 days old.
One of the things that I want to say that I've noticed from the clips that people have showed, and I don't know this to be true, but in the sermons that they've showed him speaking to large groups of people, big groups of people, looks like a fucking Beyonce concert.
Probably like 20,000 or more.
16,000 is what the church holds. Okay. So that's what we're looking at whenever I see him speaking. But like they never show him actually. They never show him actually saying God or Jesus. They always show him talking about like blessings and implying about religion, but they never actually show him like talking about God or Jesus.
I'm not 100% familiar, but Joel Olsteen is like the Tony Robbins of church.
Like, wait, religion. Whoa, wait a minute.
He's like he's in alignment with some self-development. Be your best self. You want happiness? Get your happiness on.
Oh, fuck this nigga. Get this nigga all the way the fuck out the paint. You mean this nigga making millions off of
selling dreams, basically?
You know what they want you to bless me with? A motherfucking gold Rolex and some spinners on this Hummer. So pass the like what the fuck?
Like, dog, I'm not going front. I'm not even going to sit here and lie, man. He talked a good one, man. I done watched him before. I've never really had no negative opinion about him before this shit. I still really don't have too much of a negative opinion about him other than, of course, pastor pimps and stuff like that. But, he says some good shit. He says some good shit. But, con artists say good shit all the time.
They do say good shit all the time. But
Sneaky Pete is a good show, by the way. Go check it out.
yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. The nigga, I feel like if he had just kept his mouth shut, stayed low, and did what he was supposed to do,
Stay low.
He'd be all right. But somebody that feels like people need to stay low, shut the fuck up, and do what they are supposed to do is Waka Flocka Flame. Waka Flocka.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, man. I'm on fire with these motherfucking segues, man. Waka Flocka basically sounded off and said producers and DJs have absolutely no business whatsoever making any type of album or compilation of work, period.
What he said specifically
Yeah.
was, I'll get into quotations later. He said, is it just me or when producers and DJs get big, they want to drop an album? He basically said after that, like, this is not for you. And he said DJs and producers need to, quote unquote, stick to their profession. So I look at that and I look at, okay.
Yeah, because you're a producer, so I expect you to sound off on this.
I look at a few people, man, like, okay, so if that was the case, Waka Flocka wouldn't even really have ground to stand on because this whole crunk shit is built off the whole crunk movement that Lil Jon pretty much had.
Okay.
Crunk wouldn't be what it was if it wasn't for Lil Jon. Lil Jon is not a rapper. He's a producer.
Do we consider Waka Flocka a crunk rap? Like,
he's not, but at the same time,
it's
you
still
got to
in the
look at
same
that energy.
I see what you're saying. So you're saying
because that's not the energy in rap right now.
So you're saying Lil Jon,
and the energy that was in rap was going away from that at one point, and Waka Flocka brought it back, but he wouldn't even have that lane. It wouldn't even be possible for him to have that lane without somebody like Lil Jon putting on for Atlanta as strong as he did for as long as he did. He is one of the key reasons Atlanta is in the position they're in to fucking day in 2017. So that whole lane you was in, like, that's one thing. But also we look at people like Khaled. We wouldn't have Wild Thoughts or All I Do Is Win, 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 I'm mad. We wouldn't have a lot of good songs if Khaled hadn't have stepped into that spotlight as a DJ. Then you have...
Well, Khaled made there's some bad records in there too. But,
of course. I'm not listening to no fucking Khaled album.
Nah, well, specifically not that Justin Bieber record with Lil Wayne and who else was on there? Like Playboy Cardi, Justin Bieber, Lil Wayne, and Chance the Rapper.
Are you serious? No, chill.
That's a real song. Chill. I'm not even exaggerating.
Playboy Cardi and Justin Bieber
and Lil Wayne.
No, dead ass.
And Chance the Rapper.
I know Lil Wayne and Chance the Rapper, but Playboy Cardi.
There's somebody that's missing from Playboy Cardi. Might not be the one, but
because that's weird.
The rest of those names,
that's a crazy.
100% was on one track together.
I heard it, but it didn't move me. But anyways, continuing.
Yachty? Uzi? I don't know. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to derail.
I'm not even going to get into producers too much or nothing like that because this is just like one of those things that happens when you stop eating meat, but then you eat a burger. Like your brain get back fucked up and stuff like that. He just said this shit because this is the reason it's fucked up. Your career was like your whole rap shit. Nobody anywhere is checking for Waka Flocka, but guess what? He linked up with Steve Aoki and changed his career. Who the fuck is Steve Aoki? If you just into rap shit strictly, you may not know, but the cat is a really tremendous electric dance music, EDM, DJ and fucking producer, rejuvenated your fucking career. And you telling rappers, or you
Hold on, time out. Because I hear you. I'm not familiar with Steve Aoki. I'm not familiar with how he rejuvenated Waka Flocka's career.
Check this out.
So
cool.
break it down for me.
Steve Aoki has done songs with Waka Flocka, and he takes Waka Flocka on tour on these EDM shits and puts him in front of tremendous white crowds, seas of white people, and he performs over techno remixes of his own shit.
Okay, so
And he's getting a bag. He's getting a bag. That is how he is getting his money right now. He's probably got some other shit going on, but musically,
Love and hip hop.
that's what the fuck he's getting his bag from musically right now. Nobody's booking him at any of these hood clubs to perform hard in the paint. Even if they do, he's not getting as much as he's getting paid going out with this DJ producer who put him on to perform these motherfucking I go hard in the motherfucking paint. That music, like like he's not getting paid at the hood clubs like he's getting paid to perform at Ultra Fest. So fuck out of here with all that bullshit.
Nah, I mean,
on top of that, one more thing. I think his producer from 808 Mafia, Young Sizzle, Southside. He's probably throwing shots at him. Maybe, I don't know. I doubt it. I don't know what terms they on or whatever, but Sizzle is 808 Mafia. He produced hella shit for motherfucking Waka Flocka, but he's also produced I Got the Keys for Jay-Z and all types of other cuts.
I mean,
and it's like, what? Like, that's your man's. Why would you even?
My thoughts on this shit, and I'll just keep it succinct and we'll move on. I think that producers and DJs certainly do have a space in the game. You know what I mean? Especially as of late. My only care is that you guys are authentic and genuine. You know what I mean? When it comes to it. So I feel like production and producers do have a place in the game as long as they're producing dope content that's true to the culture. But things that have been produced that are not true and dope and good for the culture.
Oh my God, this guy's fire.
Oh yeah. Death Note on Netflix was probably
you've been doing Segway push-ups.
Hell yeah,
my nigga just been at work
man.
So the copy machine is broke. You want to know
who else is broke? You niggas.
Martha tried to ask me for 30 cents to get a fucking latte because she couldn't pay the 180.
Nah, man, but fucking Death Note, for those of y'all who don't know, is a popular anime and manga series in Japan. Recently, in more recent years, I want to say maybe 2011, 2012, it was brought over to America. Did really well on Toonami. One of the best. Me personally, it's in one of my top 10 animes of all time, right? So recently, Netflix acquired the rights to produce a Netflix original film. And unlike most of the stuff that Netflix does, this was met with a lot of skepticism and some very, very fundamental problems. Now, here's the thing, all right? I haven't watched it because I'm a true fan of Death Note, as you are, right, Mello?
Of course. Like, come on, man.
Talk to us. Why? And you didn't watch it either, right?
No, I watch reviews because I don't watch bullshit.
Yeah, I don't hate watch shit, but what's your thoughts on why didn't you watch Death Note?
Because number one, it was whitewashed. Number two, I heard the dude's name was Light Turner. Number three, I waited to see like some real nigga, opinions about it. Everybody who's a real anime head is like, they ruined it and don't watch it. Number four, I watched a review on it, and this is, and I watched a review from an anime head because I don't give a fuck about regular people.
Yeah.
This Death Note is for motherfuckers who don't watch anime at all.
Yeah, that's exactly who it's for. That's exactly who
they're trying to win over. They don't really give a fuck. I'll get into that, but they don't give a fuck about the culture when they do these joints.
Right.
I'll get into that later, but I'm on
same with
number
Ghost.
four.
Same with Ghost in the Shell. Kind of situation. My alignment for not watching Death Note is pretty much in alignment with yours, but also it runs parallel with the same reasons I did not watch Ghost in the Shell.
But check this out. This is what they said. They said, Light in them anime is like, dog, so heartless.
He's not only is he heartless, but he's charismatic.
He's
clever,
arrogant. He's extremely smart,
sinister.
Sinister is the perfect word. We'll just stick with that.
Highly intellectual.
We'll stick with that. We'll stick with sinister.
Yeah,
this guy's a bitch. And the thing about it is, it's two things about it. This is why he's a bitch. On Death Note.
The anime.
he's doing this, like, you know, because he wants to feel like God. He feels like he's making the world a better place at first, but then it becomes something like, you know, he really just likes passing judgment on people.
Yeah.
And he likes having that power, and he likes having that control, and he'll do anything and kill anybody to keep that control.
He develops a God complex, yes.
It gets past doing it for justice or anything like that.
Yeah, he goes from local to
far
global.
beyond that.
He goes from local killings to on a global scale. The world is terrified of Kidda.
We'll talk about that in a moment.
Go for it.
But this motherfucker really doesn't care too much about any of that. He's doing this to impress a bitch in the movie.
And that goes fundamentally against what Light was doing.
Bro,
First
in the anime, he was so
hard on thoughts.
HOAB, hard on a bitch. He was
was.
so hard on a bitch.
Listen,
on the anime. He was leading her on so bad.
Light would only link up with a bitch to set that bitch up. That was it. Cause see, here's the thing. The difference between Light Turner and Light Yagami is that Light Turner was a dub. No charisma, no swag, wild swaggerless. Light Yagami, bitches was fucking with Light. Bitches was like, oh my God, it's this nigga.
Yeah.
Hey.
And it wasn't because of
And
the
he
Death
was
Note.
just like, yo, fuck out of here, bitch. I'm trying to kill these serial killers and shit. Like, just out here. Smart dude, sinister. And it was like, if you was throwing it at him and you had influence, he was going to try and figure out how to use you and bring you in. This dude is just like, hey, bitch, I've been jacking off to you. Want to see my murder book? Like,
basically, and it's like that's one of the craziest things. But how you was talking about the cat is sinister and all this shit, the whole and him wanting to, you know, have the God complex. They said in the movie, they did like a 5 to 10 minute montage, basically going through the whole. So the character development is weird because they went through the whole. Him going from just wanting justice to him being a sick motherfucker. They just compiled all that into 10 minutes.
Right. So let me take a step back, right? Because, of course, we have to look at this from a realistic perspective, and I'm going to go into why I chose not to watch it. Death Note, the anime, is 37 episodes long, 30 minutes apiece. You're looking at, respectively, if I'm just doing math off the top of my head, 16, 17 and a half hours worth of material that they're trying to condense into an hour and 40 minutes. So they're going to leave out a lot of stuff, right? So I know right there, me being a hardcore fan, I just don't appreciate plot lines being skimmed over like that. Second of all, Light Yagami versus Light Turner. When I seen the dude's name was Light Turner, I'm like, okay, here comes America Cinema. First of all, nobody asked for an American adaptation of Death Note. Not at all. Not at all. So for them to come through and be like, yes, this is not Light Yagami, this is Light Turner, I'm like, I already see where this is going. They're stripping away the Japanese element of it. I did think that it was cool that Lakeith played L, and, you know, I seen Lakeith played on Atlanta. He played the retarded dude or the dumb dude or the stone dude on Atlanta, and I heard he did a really good job as L, but
I heard the Shinigami was good.
I heard
he was the best part.
I heard L's relationship with Watari, you know, his assistant, felt like the most genuine relationship. And some of the reviews that I seen about Ryuk, the Shinigami, were that he was like a chaotic neutral in the anime, right? He was like, you could do this shit or you could not do this shit. I don't give a fuck. I'm just here for the ride. They said they took that and just scaled him up to be an incredible dick in the movie. Like, he was more so a dick in the movie than he was just a chaotic neutral in the anime. So I did hear that there was a tweak from there, but I understand that this movie is not marketed for me. This is a good gateway for people that might be
mothers. This is for teenagers who don't like anime.
Well, I'll say
teenage girls.
I'll say this. If you're looking to introduce somebody to anime and kind of like bring them into that realm, I would have them probably watch this movie first and see if they like it, and then go back to Netflix and be like, okay, now we about to watch the real thing. You know what I mean? I wouldn't recommend. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend doing it in reverse, like having somebody watch the anime and then watch the movie. No, have them watch the movie, then watch the anime, and gauge their response on, how they feel about it. You know what I mean? So, I mean, you got any final thoughts on?
I mean, not much, man.
Right.
I just feel like, it's something like, you should give a chance. Actually, no, if you fuck with anime, don't really fuck with it. But if you aren't into anime, give it a chance.
I'm gonna say this, man. The niggas that put that shit together, that's not real hip hop. Them niggas need to kill themselves. And if it's not, speaking of real hip hop and not killing yourself, let's talk about our boy Logic, man.
I was trying to get that segue so bad. 'Cause I was going. Speaking of death, Logic was performing.
Nah, man.
But anyways, so Logic, the suicide hotline calls went up by 50% after his performance of 1-800 Say Fado. Pick up the phone, calls are free. When they, dog, I never listened.
Say Fado.
I never listened to the song.
Auto.
Shout out to him, suicide awareness, mental health awareness.
Look, dog. Like, I get it. I understand. And
I'm still not going,
Logic, to me, this album is perplexing because I'm saying, like, I was a champion of his music. I rocked with his music and I love it. And I think that, any music that has a message like this should be celebrated, right? That's not my problem. My thing is, there's been, between the Bobby Tarantino project and this Everybody project, there seems to be a disconnect for me with Logic. Like, none of this music that he's making is hitting me the way that his previous projects hit. It's almost like he was like, all right, I did something for y'all. Go listen to my old shit if y'all like it. Now, this is for the new people. You know what I mean? This is for the new crowd that I'm trying to bring in. You know what I mean?
Logic is a dope rapper. I was thinking about this the other night. He does a lot of the, this is my life being mixed. Like, he does a lot of that rap.
Yeah, and we talked about that in detail.
Doesn't connect with people. And I'm thinking, to be honest, he's kind of ahead of his time because there's a lot of mixed people right now, but the rate of interracial dating, it's just so crazy right now. Like, in 20 years, it's going to be crazier.
And I had a conversation with you about this. This is why this Everybody album is a disconnect for me, because me and you, blood brothers, right? Same mother, same father, grew up in the same house, getting the same whoopings for the same stupid shit. We're both black. We're not biracial by any sense of the word. But coming up, when somebody told us, when there was a biracial somebody that came up and they told us they were black, that was the end of the story. We just identified them as black. That was it for us. You know what I mean? Like, you were a part of the culture. You could drop the N-word.
Albino, all that stuff.
Yeah, like we was around albinos that was dropping the N-bomb and stuff like that. Didn't look at it as problematic because we accepted them into the culture. You know what I mean? Yeah, your mom could be white. Yeah, you could be black. Like the dude that was, I don't even want to go into that. But so when I hear Logic talking about, like, people didn't accept me on the white side, people didn't accept me on the black side, my disconnect is like, nigga, we always accepted people like that. You could have
some Mariah Carey shit. But,
yeah.
I mean, it's real life for him, though. I'm not going to downplay it.
I'm not, yeah, exactly. I'm not downplaying it. I'm just saying my disconnect is that's not my experience with dealing with biracial people. Like, like Logic is light enough to pass, but when I first came across his music and he said he was half black, I'm like, all right.
I'm not going to lie to you. It's one of those things because, as a rapper, I think about it like this, when we talk about niggas rapping about their pain and stuff like that, you rapping about getting shot or you rapping about being extremely poor is gonna hit harder than rapping about something like, I just lost my job, or my supervisor keep trying to play me, or something like that. So it's, when it comes down to the mixed shit, it's just not gonna hit as hard as you know, Kodak talking about getting arrested and stuff like that.
I mean, I agree with you. I think he's ahead of.
And Logic is a good rapper. He's a very good rapper. I'm not gonna take that away from him. It's just
not,
it don't connect.
It's just it don't connect, and for the life of me, I can't figure out. Like Joyner Lucas has been like, don't compare me to Logic, and he's gone on to call Logic a corny dude in an interview. Now I haven't done my Googles and done my research as far as like why Joyner Lucas feels this way, but in his DNA freestyle, he basically is like, man, y'all keep comparing me to Logic. Like, no, I'm not like him. And that was the first time I had ever heard anybody make any comparison between Joyner Lucas and Logic. And then once I went and listened to Joyner Lucas's project this past week, which I finally got around to, I'm like, okay, sounds kind of like, I don't want to say sounds like Logic, but their styles favor each other. The pen is dramatically different, but the styles kind of favor each other. But even then,
Rapid fire.
Yeah, it's just that rapid fire Midwest chop flow. You
Lyrical,
know what I mean?
miracle, spiritual, swimming pool.
Shooting you, like, you know, that shit. So I get it. You know what I mean? That's basically that Twista type flow. Anyway, let me get off of that. I just don't know who in their right mind is comparing Joyner Lucas to Logic in a serious conversation.
Who's listening to Joyner Lucas?
That's the other thing. Like, I don't feel like the people that are listening to Logic are listening to, like, the people that are digging everybody, I don't really think they're listening to Joyner Lucas. And that's nothing to take away from either artist. I just don't feel like their fan bases overlap.
I feel like they do, and I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
Because Logic doesn't have a huge draw. That's number one. Number two, when people are looking for real hip hop, you know, like, you know, music with substance from people who are not rapping about shooting people.
Yeah.
You know, it's very, I can say it's very limited, but it's not, but it is. Well, it's hard to find. You have to dig for good artists like that. So when you find somebody good, you know, I could just start name dropping artists right now.
Yeah.
Like, but it's not too many that you really want to listen to. I'm sure that if you like somebody like Logic, it's not too far fetched that you would like somebody like Joyner Lucas.
Well, the one thing that I will say is when you kick this off, you said Logic doesn't have a big draw. I've got to disagree with you strongly on that point because the statistics and the numbers show otherwise. He has a larger draw than Joyner Lucas. And what I'm basing that off of,
like, that's not even a debate.
What I'm basing that off of is Logic's first week sales, 100,000 plus.
Okay.
Right?
So
and
let me take back what I said then.
Okay.
I take that back then. If he's selling 100,000
and plus,
in this day and age, he's fucking golden.
And then plus he's not only did he headline a tour in the United States, but he's also touring Europe as well as a headliner, not a supporting act. So there are people out there that seriously do fuck with Logic.
Yeah, he's bigger than I thought.
He's like the rapid fire Will Smith with this album. I don't know, man.
We got to get off this shit, man.
Speaking of biracial struggles in America and black versus white and Logic's album and shit like that, there was recently a cop who made an off-color remark to a white woman during a traffic stop where he said, hey, you know, the woman seemed to be upset.
Hysterical.
And he said to the woman, like, hey, this is a traffic stop. You're going to be okay. We only kill black people. You seen the news.
Watch all those clips, you know. Have you ever seen somebody white getting shot? No, it's always black people.
It's always black people. So they said the cop was doing this to de-escalate the situation and to calm the passenger down because he felt like it was a hostile situation. What
does he say to calm down the black people that he pulls over who act just like that?
I promise not to kill you if you just listen. You know, hey, those clips, we're not all like that, all right? All I need you to do is listen. You know, just listen, all right? Now, put your hands on the dashboard.
He's got a gun! Guard! Guard!
But no, to give a little bit more story, long story made shorter, the video of this surfaced. Cop got fired. Here's the thing that cats need to know. when he made that statement, now this footage that we're seeing is a year old. This dash cam footage we're seeing is a year old. The cop said this during the same week that Alton Sterling and Philando Castillo got killed. So he was instantly referencing those two videos at the time of this traffic stop. And I mean, you know, you put two and two together, man, you can't de-escalate a situation and put those words into a good context to bring somebody down, especially when it's your duty to protect and serve.
It's one of those things where, you know, it's fucked up to see that people think like that. And you could try and say that it's sarcasm. I done seen it, that's the funniest thing about all of this. And I really love it. I love it so much. I love when white people give white people the benefit. Even some black people will do it. They give white people the benefit of the doubt, regardless of the situation. Try and make excuses for it. I seen motherfuckers saying it's sarcasm. And then I seen some chick make a status today talking about, you know, and she started the shit off like, I'm not racist. Da, 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 da.
Yeah,
People
anytime somebody starts off a sentence like that, it's bound to be all bad.
People call me nigger lover and stuff like that. I have experienced racism, which that right there, I was like, I could debate on that, but we already know what type of ignorance is going down right now.
Speaking.
And then she came and said, you know, he was being sarcastic, so made an excuse for his behavior, and then said, people just don't really know the numbers. More white people die by police shooting. And I'm like, what does that have to do with what he said? It's completely irrelevant. Even then, white people like they're the majority of the population, far more than black people. So of course, being that there are more white people, there are going to be more white deaths.
Man, listen.
But come on, man. If you compare the percentages by demographic, the black is extremely high compared to that.
I don't even feel like talking about that anymore, but we're talking about racism, so we might as well get into it a little bit deeper. Racism, the most racist city in the United States of America. Boston. Who just went to Boston?
Wow, fuck.
Kyrie Irving.
Wow.
On point, like javelins, man. Pow, 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 pow.
I start hitting you in the stomach for some of these. Yeah, so, you know, Isaiah Thomas and Kyrie, you know, that trade happened, man. I just keep it a buck real fast because it's not too much detail I got to go into, man. If you've been watching this shit, you already know. So the first thing is, you know, I'm not that mad. You know, when it comes to the LeBron and KD situation, I'm not so mad at them because I don't like the Cavs. I like Orlando. I don't like the Thunder. I like Orlando Magic. You know, well documented. So the fact that they left them cities, like, I don't really give a fuck about them cities being upset or nothing like that. The only thing I'm upset about them is for not being competitive, fucking up the game. I already understood that it's no loyalty from these organizations. It's none. Isaiah Thomas' sister died. The nigga dropped like 52 or 53 points.
On fire.
You know, crying on a bench and shit like that. Playoffs. You know, it might not have been the same game, but it was that same series.
Playoffs.
The nigga came out in the playoffs, balled out.
Playoffs.
After, you know, his sister died, didn't even have a chance to mourn. It was like a day after or the same day of. So it was crazy. You got a guy who goes out and does that for you and you trade him. They also traded Crowder. I don't know what's going on with him, but you know, just going into everything else, you know, I don't know if the Celtics knew this cat had some type of injury going on. He's got a hip injury. I don't know if he passed the physical or not. What they're trying to figure out is when he's going to be able to come back. You know, the trade may not go through, but I highly doubt that they're not going to do that. It just really depends on how the evaluation goes for this cat's hip. So, with that being said, you know, I don't know what Kyrie is going to do for the Celtics. I didn't follow the Celtics the other year.
Get beat.
At the end of the day, that's the whole thing about the NBA. That's the whole thing about the NBA. At the end of the day, even if, let's say they beat the Cavs this year. Let's say they beat the Cavs. Number one, it's extremely unlikely.
In what? Beat the Cavs in what? We talking about tiddlywinks, beer pong? We talking about basketball.
Kyrie was a key player on that team. I don't know if Isaiah Thomas, especially with his injury, is going to fill that void.
What about D Rose and
Derrick Rose, fuck out of here, man. Niggas is talking about starting D Rose over IT. I'm like, if you don't get the fuck out of here.
But he's got new knees by Stark Industries.
Like, dog.
Tony Stark built him some new knees. Man. He's going to be just fine.
Explode on the motherfucking court. But I'm like, y'all niggas is silly as hell. But anyways, and then they got Crowder was like the best defender in the East for LeBron or something like that. So they take that away. And it's like, it doesn't matter what happens in the East at all for two reasons. Number one, nobody except maybe the Spurs. Is with a healthy cast, nobody is fucking with the Warriors. And when I say that, it's such a far wide margin. It's ridiculous. The Spurs was the only hope. And the Spurs couldn't get it done because Kawhi got injured. So that's that. Then we look at, this next free agency. LeBron's fucking gone. He's fucking gone. That's why Kyrie got the fuck out, because he did not want to be stuck in Cleveland eating it motherfucking what do they call that shit? Mongolian grill. Having motherfuckers come up asking for autographs, saying shit like, we always counted on you. We always depend on you, man. Fuck LeBron. We really love you. When in reality, when LeBron left, this motherfucker came in and motherfuckers was shitting on LeBron. And it was like, Kyrie, the truth. And then LeBron come back. They all the motherfuckers who burnt their jerseys to this motherfucker, go and buy new jerseys, go back to doing the dick suck, the premium dick sucks. And then premium dick sucks. Then when they lose one finals, these motherfuckers come out, or actually two finals. The first finals that they lost, motherfuckers is like, you need to trade Kyrie. Bitch, he was here holding it down while y'all superstar left. Like, period. What the fuck are you talking about? Then when he demands a trade, after y'all was saying 2 years ago, trade this motherfucker, same motherfuckers want to be mad. And what is he going to do over there? What is he going to do with the Celtics? He's going to take fucking shots without a motherfucker trying to dictate everything that goes on a team that's a fucking player. That's what the fuck he's going to do. He's going to be happy. He's going to be happy because at the end of the day, the Cavs is not beating the Warriors. Like, I wish you could see the veins in my fucking neck. The Cavs are not beating the Warriors next year. LeBron, 9 times out of 10, is fucking gone. He's going to L.A. Paul George is going to L.A. Russell Westbrook is going to L.A. Everybody is going to L.A. Indisputable. Like that's my sports rant for the day.
I respect it, man. But this I don't know much about the NBA, but I know that without Kyrie and LeBron on the Cavs this year coming up, we've just been robbed of one of probably the best NBA fights of a lifetime. But that's okay because we had Mayweather versus McGregor, so.
That shit was a travesty, man.
It was.
Like, niggas is gonna try and say, man, it was good. It was one of the hardest opponents. Like, dog, man, Conor is taller, bigger. Like, so there's certain shit he should be able to do against McGregor. That's the biggest motherfucker he's ever fought.
My problem with this shit is this. Motherfuckers try to give the nigga... We gotta stop celebrating mediocrity. Point blank, period. That's all this McGregor situation is. Motherfuckers is like... Oh, well, he stood in the ring with one of the best fighters of all time. Bitch, how else was the fight gonna fucking happen?
Let's keep what the fuck was gonna happen? Because you said it's mediocrity. No. It's motherfucking white people who fucking hate Floyd and been hate. It's white people and Mexicans who been hating Floyd the whole time. Rooting for anybody going against this motherfucker. And they like, yes, somebody's finally gonna beat his ass. The same motherfuckers who believed in this motherfucker is the same people who've been going against him the whole time. And then when this motherfucker lost, they like, well, he's from UFC. He doesn't do this. He got paid. And for him to last that long, it was a technical knockout. Why did they stop it?
He wouldn't last one round in the UFC.
Shut your dumb ass up. Dog. This nigga's 40. He will die.
And he knows that. Here's the thing. People's hate for Mayweather, whether black, white, or... intense, whether black, white, or whatever, so intense that they were willing to abandon all logic and be like,
Throw feminists on there too. They hate this motherfucker.
Mayweather's gonna lose. He's gonna get knocked out in the third round. He's 40. He's old. They just abandoned all logic, all sense, and now they're saying everything other than Mayweather lost. They're like, oh well, he gained some respect for me because he went 10 rounds. Bitch, we talking. I'll paint the scenario like this, man. Floyd, extremely seasoned, highly professional.
Everybody knew how this was gonna pan out.
You don't think Money Mayweather has the skill to take care of that cat within the first round, the first 3 rounds, the first 4 rounds? Mayweather let that go 10 rounds. That's it. Mayweather controlled the pace of the fight. Whether cats want to, nah, man,
let it go 10 rounds.
Nah.
I'm not gonna say that. He could not do what he did if Conor wasn't wore out. I just keep it a buck. If Conor wasn't wore out, Conor was going to keep going. Conor has no endurance because UFC rounds are much shorter. Plus, he's not going to get the same type of endurance that a professional seasoned 20-plus year boxer has. You just can't get that.
And people is upset.
In a few months.
And people is upset that Floyd didn't even knock him out. I'm like, nigga, see, here's the thing. Here's what y'all got to pay attention to. There's more than one way to win a boxing match. Fundamentally,
any boxing fan knows that.
Fundamentally, that's how it's been since as long as boxing has been a sport.
Any boxing fan knows that.
Floyd probably hasn't knocked anybody.
Knockout King days is kind of over for real.
Right. Floyd hasn't knocked anybody out in 10 years. For some reason or another, you dumb motherfuckers thought as a 40-year-old man who's won 49 fights in a row, who hasn't knocked anybody out in a 10-year run, it was gonna step up and knock this dude out. It's been established. That's not how he fights. He won this fight the same way he wins other fights, by simply hitting the most and not getting hit. That's it. Motherfuckers act like, oh, this cat landed the most motherfucking punches that anybody has ever landed. Nigga, he almost won. Listen, you can't spell almost without an L. It was a close fight. You can't spell close without an L. McGregor gotta hold that shit, man. Y'all gotta let this shit go. Like, your man's lost. Quit trying to give him points for doing basic shit. That's like trying to give a deadbeat dad points for, yeah, I took care of my son this weekend. Nigga, that's what you, as a dad, you're supposed to do more than that. We can't give you credit for doing basic ass shit.
You can't be trying to find a dub or a W in a loss. You can't. You can try and find lessons and shit like that, but if a nigga lost, he lost, man.
Yeah,
he lost.
Fuck the bank account. Fuck the money. Fuck the dumb shit.
When I bet on the Warriors to beat the Cavs and they lost, I had all types of excuses, but I wasn't giving them no credit.
Yeah,
I was saying y'all niggas fucking suck. That's why y'all fucking lost, because y'all fucking suck. You know? And you might even say like, oh, the refs and stuff. Like, I ain't say none of that. I said I made conspiracy theories.
What did you say they called the ref of this fight? The nigger rigger?
They called him the nigger rigger. Dog, like, so y'all really think this shit is like, y'all really thinking like the racist saying at work, like, dog, it's not celebrating mediocrity. It's people, I'm not saying everybody, but it's a huge chunk of motherfuckers who just hate black people.
Oh,
and they might like McGregor. Some of them love McGregor, but they hate Floyd.
Listen, I'm gonna say this, man. Like, you can say what you want, but very rarely do you ever hear like clever, like racist, like that shit tickled my soul. It, like, I was in tears, but we off of that, man. Y'all already know what the fight was about. Y'all know how the fight broke down. So,
yeah, you know,
We're gonna move on. You want to talk about this power finale?
Yeah, I wish I had a fire segue for
I
that.
did have. I could go back and redo it. Like, they said that Mayweather had him outpowered, but you know what? We're gonna be without power for the next year after the motherfucking season finale and cliffhanger that we had on Stars.
All right. So anyway,
spoiler alerts for anybody watching live.
Alert.
We've already seen the power finale, and we're about to talk real serious spoilers. So you might want to fast forward maybe 5 or 6 minutes, or you want to cut the live feed off now if you don't want the plot spoiled for you right now. So
I'm gonna just talk about 3 things, and I'm gonna cliff note it like this: Dre, Councilman motherfucking Tate, and Tariq. That's all I'm gonna talk about.
Okay.
So first, let's talk about Councilman Tate talking spicy, trying to get Rain a funeral at the fucking church. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you, Lorenz Tate? Like, you don't understand Ghost to kill one. Ghost is about to kill somebody tonight. Like, Ghost is about to bury a motherfucker tonight. Like, he's about some shit. You got street ties, so you know what this nigga is about. Bruh, don't play with this nigga. Don't play. Like, dog, did you see his face? Did you see the motherfucking aggression in his? I'm like, dog, you talking to Ghost. You just a councilman.
See, here's the thing.
You're not a killer. Chill out.
This is why this cat feels
You can die.
Well, here, I'm going to let you know. I'm going to break it down for you. He feels comfortable enough pulling up and hollering at this dude and just like putting him on blast, like, you gonna listen to me type shit. First of all, they're in a church. You're not gonna touch me in broad day. 2, the reason why you're not gonna touch me in broad day or even fuck with me is because literally you are about to be the center yet again of a publicity shitstorm. Your daughter just died from some suspected criminal activity after you were acquitted of all criminal charges. All charges were dropped against you. Not because we found you innocent, but because we fucked up the investigation. So it's not really that Ghost is an innocent dude. Like, that publicity is going to be back around him. So that's why he feels comfortable enough to be like, look, my nigga,
you hot right now, so I can talk to you spicy.
Oh yeah, I could talk to you spicy because and it looks like his plan is like, I'm just gonna keep you as a public figure so you don't feel comfortable enough to pull up and do no dirt or conspire against me or no crazy shit like that. Yeah. So that's gonna be a big turning point next season because that's gonna be like the subplot. Like,
oh, it's definitely gonna be a subplot because it's gonna fuck with little shit so much. You know, and these cats is about to go to war. We'll get to that last with Dre, but let's talk about Tariq. Tariq, I gained some respect for Tariq's dumb ass, but there was no respect going into the episode. Like, zero.
None. But I will say this before we get into Tariq. The thing that people got to notice about Ghost, his big character flaw, he's 10, 15, 20, 30 steps ahead of everybody else, right? The nigga can't see what's going on in his own home. Like, he don't know.
That's a big fact.
He didn't know. He don't know what's going on with Raina.
Everything that's going on in the streets. You don't know what the fuck is going on at the home. Like,
Tasha told him, hey, Tariq is lying. I know he's lying. You can't see it because he lies just like you. That nigga was like, nah, he ain't lying. Ghost can't see what's going on. Ghost don't know.
Ghost don't got no relationship with his kids, bro.
Not only that, but Tasha done stepped out with 50's son, corny ass lawyer nigga. Corny ass lawyer, side lawyer nigga catching feelings. I could be either your lawyer or your lover. And I feel like she might have stepped out with one other dude. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But he can't even tell that his wife ain't even all the way engaged in that relationship. Like, he don't even care. It doesn't cross his mind. And that shit is gonna fuck up Ghost every time. Every time. I'm sorry. You said you didn't have no respect for Tariq going into this shit. I feel the absolute same way. Continue.
Indeed. So you had a great point there. Now, as far as Tariq, he started off the episode, horrible actor. just gotta say it. My nigga was crying with no emotion on his face, dog. Like, this nigga.
So you mean to tell me you the nigga that killed my sister?
The tears was real. He don't know how to emote with even his sister. And that last episode had more emotion than this cat has had all these seasons.
And this is why I say, like, because I be in the barbershop and niggas be talking like they're gonna kill off Ghost. No, they ain't. They never gonna kill off St. Patrick because
Ghost is the fucking star. It's not the
not
Wire.
only is he the not only is he the star.
It's not that format.
Not only is he the star, but to what you're saying, he's by leaps and bounds the best actor on that show. If they kill off Ghost,
Councilman Tate.
okay, fine, right? We could say that. Yeah, he's more decorated.
Then even then, it'd be some moments.
But who are we gonna rely on to drive the story? Tariq? Tommy? I can barely stand to see Tommy on screen
is one of the worst actors on that set. He's not the worst. Tariq is definitely the worst.
Julio was the worst until
Julio was horrible. Julio was trash.
Julio would not move his face. He'd be like, "Damn, I'm mad tight right now." I'd be like,
"Dog, he sound like he sound like he trying to help you find something at Radio Shack, no matter what the scene is."
But he don't know quite where it's at. Like he like,
right.
So you're trying to find... So
bro,
you're here looking for Kanan? He's over there?
You ever watch DJ Payne 1 on YouTube?
No.
He sounds just like DJ Payne 1, dog.
Oh, man.
Like,
but I'm sorry. I keep derailing us. We're talking about Tariq. You didn't have no respect for him. He's a horrible actor. He didn't emote at all when he was crying.
You know,
Continue.
So he goes, he steals the deuce out the motherfucking safe. And, yeah. He goes to work. And you know they catch him and bow. He done killed Ray Ray. So
yeah.
So you know.
Let to speak to that because I'm sorry. I don't mean to keep taking your momentum out of it, but this episode, the pacing at which they found who the killer was,
it's power. Did you see the last season,
bro? Yes,
they killed the plug in one episode. They pulled their whole scheme off in one episode. So I kind of felt. They gonna do the same shit they did last season.
This was so rushed. Like I'm gonna point it out to you like this.
That's what they do.
They was faster than First 48. Raina died at Friday night at 9 p.m. Tariq getting questioned at 11 p.m. By 2 p.m. Saturday, the next day, not only did they know who killed Raina, they had a specific address on where he was going to be. They would have killed him at 2 p.m., but they had to wait until 6 for that cat to show up. Like, the shit was like literally within 12 hours, they knew who the killer was and where he was going to be. That shit to me is highly, highly, highly unrealistic by any means. Without Tariq coming out and directly being like, it was this nigga named Ray Ray. He was a cop. Kanan introduced me to him. The fact that he didn't do that, but they were still able to put 2 and 2 together that fast was just the most unrealistic shit to me about this season.
Extremely unrealistic. I mean, I'm not gonna say extremely unrealistic because the thing about that is like on some real life shit, the hood talk. So niggas know who done did what within a few days for real.
Yeah, I mean it just
the police don't know, but the hood know.
It was just wild to me. But you were talking about, he stashed the deuce, killed Ray Ray.
Yeah, so the fact that he killed Ray Ray, it was like some coming of age type shit.
Yeah.
Which is, it's a show, so it's cool for a TV show.
The whole family was there.
Yeah, literally.
Except for the baby. Which was fucked up because they didn't tell the baby girl that her sister was dead. Like, that to me.
When is he gonna come home?
Like, this whole family.
She act better than Tariq, but anyways.
She does.
And shout out to the actual guy who is the actor for getting twerked and covering his face. I seen a video.
Oh, Tariq?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, man. He out here getting all types of puss.
Capitalizing off of that.
Sipping lean in real life. But
I'm off enough lean right now. I might just pop you right now here in broad daylight.
Man, I wish him nothing but the best. I hope he develops into a better actor, man. And who am I really to judge his craft? I'm just being a dickhead critic. It is what it is.
I think now my prediction is like now with him making the passage into manhood and being in a family that's surrounded and engulfed in crime and scandal, I think one of the ways they're going to hide his poor acting is just by making him like a hardcore thug that doesn't really show any other emotion other than like anger, rage, or just being incredibly calm.
And that's the thing, you know, is he going to get back in the streets?
Yeah.
Or is he going to, you know, try and chill out? Or is he going to get back in the streets under his dad? Because, you know, he had that whole clique he was running with was through Kanan and Ray Ray, basically, in Jukebox. So he really has no street ties. All of them are dead now. So what is he going to do? Go out and be a nickel boy and he live in a mansion? And it's like, bro, you this cat's son. Like
he's stupid. It's not gonna. He's gonna do some shit next season. Like he's gonna link up with some bad cats, or he's gonna start hitting licks, or he's just gonna get leaned out of his mind and do some shit. But he's gonna be the center of some shit next year. He's just gonna create more problems for the family.
This nigga Dre said, "You back on that lean?" This nigga was like, "Yeah,
I might fuck you up,
and I shoot you on like so high I might shoot you right now." But anyways, man,
listening to the Carter.
His mom had him clean himself off, and that's like at that moment. That's when all the lying stops. You know exactly how real it is now. Your mom told you.
She shined as a mother in that very role, as like a crime mother, like as a crime mom. Like she didn't explain what was going on. Like it was.
Shout out to them for being such a hygienic family where they got mad unused brand new toothbrushes under the sink.
Oh yeah, dog. Like
man,
they was just like, cause it felt like she had prepared for that. You know what I mean? Like, cause she literally gave him the rundown.
I was just thinking
like,
they dental hygiene was on point.
Nah, cause like the steps she took him through, it's like she used to run with Ghost back in the day, and it seemed like it was just on muscle memory, like on pilot for her. Like they just got into the elevator and she didn't hesitate. She just took him straight to the basement. And you seen Ghost shortly after that. They did the same thing. Him and Tommy was down there in the basement burning their clothes. So this is a routine that she knows about. So I believe that she had all of that stuff just off to the side, prepared. Like, look, like your dad just did this shit. He's still gonna continue to do this shit. That's who that nigga is. So I have to at least, by covering him, I'm covering my own ass.
She took the case. She about to take the case, even though it's not.
Oh, dog.
Even though it might not be a case, but you know, if they doing that, it's gonna pop off somehow. It is what it is.
It's her gun, and they found that bullet in the wall. Now Tariq loaded it, so his fingerprints may be on that. But
where did they put the gun? That's the question.
They took the gun with them, but I think when they run it through ballistics,
it's a licensed gun, probably.
Yeah, they know that that's registered to Tasha. So they are going to next season, the first person they're going to come and find is Tasha. And she's going to get charged with the killing. Even though she, you know, the reason that's going to happen is because Tariq doesn't have any criminal activity or criminal past. So they're not going to be able to look his fingerprints up right out the gate and say that, yo, these are Tariq's fingerprints. You know what I mean? But they will be able to pull the ballistics.
They still got the gun, so they can wipe the fingerprints. That's no problem.
Yeah, they can, but they're going to get Tasha because they're like, this gun that fired this weapon is registered to Tasha. And you seen they took it when they went into the house earlier this season. They went into the safe and they took that gun from Tasha. So they are very aware that this is the family gun.
Okay, there you go. So you got that. We're going to get to this last point because we got to talk about some other serious shit. Dre, being that we went so long on this power shit, I'm not even going to go too deep into Dre. Dre is going to die. If Dre does not die, he is the ultimate finesse guy because this cat basically finessed the plug, finessed his way to distributor, you know, and he's a slime ball. He's a super slime ball.
Yeah.
And, you know, he probably should have been dead by now.
Well, here's the thing, all right? This is why Dre...
In real life, he would be dead by now.
Yeah, but this is why Dre was able to cook for this long. And he even said it in the previous episode. I'm using the power of these guys are underestimating me. So I'm moving under that guise because they would not suspect me to do some of these things. Now, conclusion of season 4... they are very well aware that you, sir, are a snake. Now that they know this, Dre doesn't quite have enough finesse to protect his neck. You see what I'm saying? Because, like, you could even look at it. Like, the fact that Tariq was able to roll up on him and just, like, basically blackmail him, like, that lets you know right there, Tariq is 16. You got a 16-year-old kid out here in the street just pulling up on you and flexing you. You're not going to be able to deal with the united forces of Tommy and the Italian Mafia, Kanan and the thugs from D.C., and Ghost and his cunningness. That he ain't going to be... Dog, I'd be surprised
The whole thing where they said, we got to get an army, mother. We can't just pop him. I'm just like... I don't understand how. He's one dude. I understand that Jimenez, you're going to have that backlash. You're going to know that it was Tommy involved. But I just don't understand where Army comes from. Are you going to try and take down the Jimenez too? But also, one thing I forgot about was Russian Poppy Plug is upset with Tommy right now. Tommy has lost his whole dope network. What's going to happen with that?
Yeah, and Tommy's going to get that back. Like, I think that his family is going to help him kind of like
distribute
or go to war.
They're giving him the dope. Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Or go to war with those Russians. It's going to go either one or two ways. Tommy's either going to get right back. Because the problem is, Tommy could get that dude his money, but Tommy is the distributor. And right now, Tommy doesn't have a team to distribute shit. So that's going to be something he has to overcome next year. But like I said, I think the family will step up and help him out. It'll be a relatively easy and quick fix from there. But back to your point about Dre, here's the thing. The Jimenez have a special interest in Dre because Dre is now their distributor. So they're going to make sure that Dre is taken care of, which is why they're like, okay, this just went from a game of Connect 4 to a game of checkers. Fuck, now it's a game of chess. Because Dre now has the backing to where he can move completely different from how he has been moving. So when they say they need an army, yeah, they need guys. Because Ghost's face is too hot. Tommy is still hot. Kanan is probably the only dude that could move in that circle
the fuck he want to move
with some type of anonymous presence to where they're not able to quite figure out and piece it together.
That nigga killed somebody's grandma.
Oh yeah, that was great. That was great TV.
With a God bless you
pillow.
Like.
Yeah, that was great, man. But Power, man, just to wrap things up, man, it was dope. I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to next season, man. I just canceled my Stars membership, so I'll renew it next year when Power comes back on, because I believe in supporting black business. And speaking about black business, your boy Lonzo Ball. Yeah, his son is out here wilding. Lonzo Ball, boy, you about to catch it. So in an interview with Complex, Lonzo Ball said, quote verbatim,
I thought it was on the first episode of, they little reality show, actually.
Whatever, man. But either way, quote for quote, word for word, he said, man, y'all is outdated. Nas isn't relevant anymore. Future and Migos are real hip-hop.
Go. Oh, man. Where do we start with the blasphemy?
Man,
I would say the first thing, man, just
I don't
keep
like
Nas'
this cat
name
face
out your mouth.
I don't like this cat face, man.
He had no reason to bring up Nas specifically. He lives on the West Coast. He would never have said Corrupt, Exhibit, Snoop Dogg. Like, even then, forget the first two I said, because Nas, if we talking East Coast, it's Biggie, Nas, Jay-Z, and maybe a few other cats. But those are the biggest names of all time over there. He's not going to say Tupac. He's not going to say Dr. Dre. He's not going to say Ice Cube. He's not going to say Snoop Dogg. Why didn't you not say none of the West Coast cats? Because your dad will come and smack you. Your uncle will come and smack you. Somebody is going to come through the palm trees in the 6'4" and smack you. Like, if don't...
O'Shea Jackson Jr. gonna come through and smack
nigga
him.
Gonna catch you at a summer league game, run up on a court.
The nigga that played Suge Knight gonna come through and smack you, man.
Like, so it's just, you don't... I understand what he was trying to say, but you don't have... You're not a regular kid no more. You're what you're saying is going to be amplified.
Time out. Age ain't no excuse for ignorance. I'm sorry.
I haven't even gotten to that part.
Yeah,
yet.
but
I haven't gotten to that part.
Go
We
ahead.
will talk about age because people are using that as a fucking excuse.
That's not.
So, my guy, it goes back to the first thing I was saying. It's disrespectful, especially when you're an NBA player of that stature. Like, you're coming in, you got all this spotlight to shit on Nas. You cannot do that. You cannot do that. It's disrespectful. And I understand you not listening to Nas, but
Yeah.
I'm not about to sit up here on my podcast or nothing like that and be like, Run DMC is outdated. Nobody trying to listen to that shit or nothing like dog, like or just anybody, Rakim or nothing like that. Like, dog, you gotta respect the people who paved the way. It wouldn't be no Migos, like literally, if it wasn't for that generation, period. And you mentioned somebody like, nah, it's just crazy, man. It's just so crazy, man. The fact that he 19, yeah, motherfuckers ain't listening to that. Yeah, Lil Uzi is hip hop to this nigga. Yeah, he grew up in the 2000s.
See,
Nelly was the guy when he was like 5. But at the same time, dog, don't speak on shit you don't know about.
See, this is my problem with this, right?
Stop excusing the ignorance, man.
Yeah, we got age is no excuse for ignorance, and this is my problem with this, man. And I had a conversation with somebody this morning, and they wanted to say the term, well, real hip hop is subjective. We got to stop saying that shit. We got to stop saying that shit. As a culture, as a genre, I'm saying it right now, man. We got to stop saying hip hop is subjective because it's not.
We gonna talk about that because I actually think it is to a certain extent.
Let's talk about it now, man. Fuck the dumb shit. Because here's my point, all right? When you sit here and you say real hip hop is subjective, I feel like the term real in that sentence is subjective. What a person deems real and what a person deems not real. I get it. But hip hop, the genre, is not subjective. And this is coming from a man that is engulfed and embraced the culture and a part of the culture. We know what hip hop sounds like. We know what it moves like. We can differentiate between a KRS-One and a J. Cole. Even though it don't sound the same, we know it's hip hop. You know what I mean? Now, the reason I say we got to stop saying that hip hop is subjective and real hip hop is subjective is because people are like, well, if it's rap, it's hip hop. Nigga, by that definition, you're saying that Miley Cyrus is hip hop. Or she's a hip hop artist.
I can tell, dog.
And my problem is this. When you allow people to say like, oh, well, hip hop is subjective based on the person that's listening to it. You get people like Miley Cyrus that come in, bastardize the fucking culture fucking vultures across the fucking board, and then years later diss the shit after they've gained the notoriety and popularity that they sought out to get in the first place. So I feel like the narrative that hip hop and real hip hop, that's subjective. That fucks the shit up. Like, if you're a part of the culture and you grew up around it and you know what it sounds like, you know that somebody like motherfucking Taylor Swift doing a song with Nicki Minaj isn't hip hop. Like,
that's not what we're talking about, though. That and Miley Cyrus is so left field. No, but they don't call themselves hip hop. They haven't really used the word hip hop.
But the point I'm trying to make is these people, they make hip hop or rap albums. They make albums where they're rapping, but it's not hip hop. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. Like, anybody
stop. He said Future and Migos is hip hop.
And this is what I will say to that. The reason I went with Miley Cyrus is to paint a broad picture. Now we're going to drill that down, right? We're not saying that the Migos aren't good. We're not saying that the Migos aren't real. We're saying the Migos will even tell you they are leading the trap rap genre above anything else. Before you get to them being real hip hop, trap rap is their thing. They will tell you that. Future will tell you that. Hip hop will not be real hip hop won't be the first thing to come out their mouth if you ask them to describe themselves.
Of course not.
So that's why this conversation right here with him saying that and people trying to justify like, oh, well, real hip hop is subjective. That's hip hop to this. Nah, man, that's fucked up. That's not what it is. You know what I mean? Like, we can't let these people, just because he's young and he grew up listening to those people, that doesn't mean that's what that is. He's still fucking up because it's trap rap. It's not hip hop. They just happen to rap. That's it.
I disagree.
Okay, go for it. Why?
Because, you know, if you look at it, if we look at something like rock, you have rock, but you have country rock. You have alternative rock. You have, you know, ska punk, which is, the rock isn't even in the fucking word, but it's a type of rock. Trap is a subgenre to hip hop, period. Like, that's what it is. Now, when you say that, this is why it's subjective.
Okay.
Why because the only thing from what you've given me is it's not, you know, the Migos and Future are not hip hop because they're trap.
Well,
trap is a subgenre of hip hop.
Let me take his quote verbatim. They are real hip hop. Okay?
What is real hip hop?
Come on, man. We're not gonna do this.
No, we are, because
Okay.
we're talking logically.
Okay, let me list it. Let me break it down. Real hip hop, that's gonna be your J. Cole. Real hip hop, that's gonna be your Jay-Z. Real hip hop, that's gonna be your Kendrick Lamar.
Stop there, because you're naming artists. What about those three artists make them hip hop?
Listen, what about, let me counter that question with, what about the Migos makes them real hip hop? See, this is what I mean.
No, see,
time out. This is what I mean.
Asked you a question and you're gonna flip it on me. You haven't even answered the question.
This is what I mean.
Anything you say, the Migos probably have, or Future probably has. If you say substance, Future has substance. If you listen to Codeine Crazy, he has substance.
My argument is predicated on the fact that if you in interviews, when you ask these guys what genre are they, they're gonna tell you that they're trap rappers. They're not gonna say I'm real hip hop. That's my point. This cat is trying to label them as something that they don't even label
Nobody's
themselves
asking
as.
Jay-Z, J. Cole, or Kendrick in interviews, are you real hip hop? Nobody's asking that.
But I'm saying
nobody's asking that either.
What these guys verbally identify themselves as is trap rappers. You know, they understand, because it's a niche culture.
Going in circles. It's a subgenre.
No, stop.
It's a subgenre.
This is a niche culture in Atlanta, where they said people from Atlanta, Future, Migos, 2 Chainz, they will tell you we're trap rap. We're real trap rap because the trap originated in Atlanta.
Okay, and why is trap not hip hop?
I'm not saying that it's not hip hop. The quote is real hip hop. See, when you say real hip hop, let's not be dumb. Let's fuck the dumb shit. We know it's a feeling.
You've broken it down 2 different ways
it's a
early
focus,
in the conversation. Let's just focus on real hip hop.
It's a focus on intense lyricism, for lack of a better term. Usually has some type of East Coast. Has some type of East Coast influence to it. That's
bullshit. That's bullshit.
Okay,
that's bullshit, because we gonna say Tupac is not real hip hop. Motherfucker doesn't have too much East Coast influence in his shit.
He's from New York. He's from New York.
So the fuck what?
I'm not saying it's limited
to that. If you listen to All Eyes on Me, that's New York influence.
But see, here's what you have to do now, okay?
Motherfucker,
now,
E40 is real hip hop.
Here's what you have to do now. You have to try and sell me that the Migos are real hip hop. Go.
No, I'm not. Okay. Because I'm gonna go back to what you just said.
Okay.
Intense lyricism.
But see,
that is cool. No, stop. Because that's cool. The Migos and Future do not have intense lyricism. Okay. If we're gonna base it on that is we're getting into logic now.
Okay.
That's a grounds that you can stand on. I can say the Migos, Future, most trap rappers don't have intense lyricism. Mm-hmm. So if you're gonna make that the staple of real hip hop, it is what it is. But then we gotta go back to the roots of hip hop. You know, motherfucking Grandmaster Flash, all these did they have intense lyricism? Fuck no. Not even for the time did they have intense lyricism.
But see,
it was party rap.
Here's the thing. This is my standpoint.
So at what point does that become intense lyricism? At what point does that become real hip hop?
See, this is the thing. Like, what we're trying to do here is verbalize a culture, right? We're trying to verbalize a feeling. You know what real hip hop feels like. You know what real hip hop sounds like, right?
That's why it's fucking subjective, because we all don't feel the same. That's exactly why it's subjective.
But see, here's the thing. Just like I'm able to sit here and say, hey, I can name these artists that are real hip hop, the majority of people are going to agree. You know what I mean? You listen to their music, it has a certain energy to it. It has a certain feeling to it. It has a certain, some tracks have a certain message to it.
Logic and feeling don't go hand in hand. That's how come when chicks make fucking decisions out of emotion, they typically go against logic.
See, here's the point that I'm trying to make, all right? Just like I can say, hey, these are real hip hop artists, and this is why. Okay? Nobody has been able to come to me and say, well, time out, stop.
Because you asked me this question. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No one has been able to sit down and in a reasonable way say, the Migos are considered real hip hop for these reasons.
Okay. So let's say this. Future is real hip hop because Future has substance. Future raps about his real life. Future cares about his lyrics on certain songs. Like, where do we go from there? No, he doesn't have intense lyricism. That's the one thing. You gave me one thing. You gave me one thing. And I think substance is more important than fucking intense lyricism because motherfucking Redman has fucking intense lyricism, but he has no fucking substance.
And you know, that's fair. People, that's a thing that he's been criticized for. And why he's like really, I don't want to say held out of the GOAT conversations, but that's a lot of people's hang up on Redman. But just like how you said, like you can have all of those things, but minus the lyricism, it's a bit different. But it doesn't have to be this large, broad spectrum of skills that you have to have. It can be by a very razor thin margin. And it's
it has to. It actually has to.
And so
the reason it has to be is because when we look at a good MC and we rate what a good MC is, it goes based on certain criteria. You might want to just be, I like him because, he gives me a good feeling. There's a reason you feel that.
Dog, like, so when we get, my thing is this, when you get into real hip hop, it comes with titles. It comes with expectations. It comes with a whole different conversation. So like how we're sitting here and we're like, okay, where does Kendrick rate on your top 5? You know what I mean? If we sit here and we go, okay, top 5 rap artists, dead or alive, are you going to put Future over Kendrick? No.
You said earlier the term real is subjective.
Okay.
But hip hop is not. Okay. And then you focused on hip hop. And when I went to focus on hip hop, you said no. Okay, let's go back to real.
Fine. Let's keep it there. Real hip hop. If we're talking MCs, right?
We already did that.
No, if we're talking MCs, break this down. Explain to me who would be better in the real hip hop genre, who would rank higher in real hip hop? Kendrick Lamar or Future, and why?
I'm not gonna do real hip hop because you said real hip hop is subjective, but as far as hip hop, that's something different. So then you wanted to focus on real hip hop.
So and here's the thing, regardless of how you want to look at it, if we're talking about MCs, right? Because that's something that comes with real hip hop, right? MCing, right? If we're talking about MCs, whose do you feel is the better MC? Because that's going to gauge where we go on in this conversation. Do you feel that Kendrick Lamar is a better MC than Future, or Future is a better MC than Kendrick Lamar?
Come on, man.
Okay, see, that's what I mean. See, when we start to talk about hip hop, it's a whole different conversation. Trap rap, I get it. It's a subgenre, I get it. But when we start talking about real hip hop, when we start talking about MCing, when we start talking about lyricism, when we start talking about rappers, it's a different class. And this is why his statement is fucked up, because the guys that he's saying aren't better than the real hip hop guys that are doing it now, that we acknowledge as real hip hop.
And you want to hold on to that? You can have that. But you're not going to say that the Future and Migos are not hip hop. If we can agree on that, that's cool. If you want to say that they not real hip hop, that's subjective.
My thing is this: the real hip hop part, right? We gotta stop saying that this shit is subjective, because it's not.
You said the real part is subjective. You said that earlier in the conversation.
Listen, when we start to say the shit is subjective, shit like this happens. Because now,
you can't put it clearly what the fuck real hip hop is.
Listen, break it down. Let's talk about it. If we're talking about hip hop and we talk about somebody's top 5, you're gonna look at somebody completely different.
Fuck a top 5. What's hip hop?
No, listen.
What's hip hop?
Listen.
What's hip hop?
Fucking listen to me. This is what I'm trying to say.
You're talking and I'm trying to layers and pyramids about shit that don't what hip hop is.
This is what I'm trying to humor me. Follow me. If we sit here and we talk about top 5s, right? And somebody comes to you and says, Drake's in my top 5, Future, Lil Uzi, Lil Yachty, 21 Savage. you're going to twist up your face and you're going to be like, nah. Right?
You're right, yeah.
Because what I'm trying to say is we as the people that are a part of this culture know what hip hop sounds like and what hip hop is. It comes with an expectation. These guys are not elite lyricists. These guys aren't top tier rappers. They make good songs. They have good buzz. Yes, they may even speak about their lives and things that are true to them and true experiences that they've had. That's great. But when we start talking about hip hop, these guys,
real hip hop.
Either way.
Stop.
Listen to me.
These
guys, and
you're not going to tell me that motherfucking Future isn't hip hop. You can do that real shit if you want. You're not going to tell me Future isn't hip hop.
So let me ask you this question. Is Miley Cyrus hip hop? She made a rap album.
No.
Okay, why isn't she hip hop?
Because she's not a part of the culture at all. She is not within the culture.
Okay. Even though she has a rap album, even though she is rapping, keep it going. She's not a part of the culture, right?
All right. So let's really think about this. No, you asked me a question. Let me answer.
We hold her to a different standard, right? We don't hold her to the standard of being an elite lyricist. We understand she's not a part of the culture. We understand
we were holding motherfucking Run DMC to the standard of being elite lyricist. We've been holding motherfucking, I wish I was a little bit, we've been holding Positive K, what your girl got to do with me, to a standard of lyricism?
Mm-hmm. This is what I'm saying. This is why I'm saying that it's dangerous. Because Miley Cyrus, listen to me. This is why it's dangerous for us to sit here and say hip hop or real hip hop is subjective, because we know what it is. Because based on the definition that you're providing, we should be able to accept Miley Cyrus for making a fucking rap album.
What definition have I provided?
Yeah, tell me, what definition have you provided? She's rapping about the lifestyle she engages in. She's not an elite lyricist, but she is rapping.
Well, check this out.
She has a rap
album.
Let's
stop with this Miley Cyrus bullshit.
No. Because
let me talk.
No, I'm gonna keep going with that, because my point is this: when we sit here and say,
let's talk about fucking Miley Cyrus then. Why she's not hip hop? Miley Cyrus was on she was Hannah Montana for X amount of years. She motherfucking has done pop records for X amount of years. She is identified as a pop country artist. She comes out of the blue and starts rapping. She does not, I'm not even gonna say she starts rapping, because I've never heard her rap. She starts fucking with rap producers. She sings, she doesn't fucking rap. Let's just pretend that she fucking rap. She doesn't take the craft serious. She doesn't take herself seriously as a rapper. She has not put in any work. She's identified as a pop artist. She is not, even then, you don't have to be from the hood or anything like that to be a rapper. You can tell from what she's doing that it is strictly a money grab.
Okay.
Now, if we compare that to the Migos are definitely not doing the shit strictly for a money grab.
Okay.
If you were doing the shit for a money grab, you wouldn't make so many records and videos that are being released for free. All of Miley Cyrus music goes out and it gets performed and it's on albums to be streamed.
Okay. So
she's not performing in hood clubs. She's not doing none of that shit.
So let me take a step back, because I think we might be arguing two different points, because I see exactly what you're saying and I think I'm level set. So let me let you know where I'm coming from. Hip hop, I'm looking at it from more of a cultural and lifestyle standpoint, which, to your point, Miley Cyrus doesn't fit into that. She doesn't, right? Didn't come up in that. Just quick money grab, right? I think you're having the conversation from the standpoint of hip hop as a genre, which is,
yes,
to that point, yes, I agree with you 100%. You would classify them in the genre of hip hop. Now, where we're missing at is you're talking specifically about the genre. I'm talking specifically about the culture and the lifestyle at a deeper level. So I will agree with you. Technically, yes, they're in the hip hop genre. It's a subgenre of hip hop, trap rap. Yes.
Okay, so you asked me the Miley Cyrus question 50,000 times. You have not given me anything about the Migos, so I'm gonna ask you Migos and Future. because those are the two people he mentioned specifically.
Yes.
What about them culturally keeps them from being hip hop?
Again, I'm going to go with the elite lyricism. That's pretty much where I'm at. You know what I mean? Do they make good songs? Yes. But then on top of that, if you were to ask them, trap rappers from Atlanta are very proud of being trap rappers from Atlanta because the trap originated in Atlanta. Before hip hop even is mentioned, again, yes, they are a subgenre, they're going to let you know it's trap rap. Before anything else, they might say a whole bunch of other shit, music, this, that, and the third, but trap rap is going to be the thing that comes to the surface before real hip hop.
So, because going off of what you said, two things. So, the points you're making is the Migos don't identify with hip hop. Well, they identify with trap. That's one of the points you're making, correct?
Yes.
The other point you're making is being that they're not, I don't know what you said, top tier lyricists.
Elite lyricists.
Elite lyricists. They're not hip hop. So those two things.
And I'm talking about specifically at an elite level that you would hold a hip hop artist to. So you can, for the sake of this argument, we're going to say the easiest thing to say, and I know it sucks, real hip hop. We have to, because
if you want to say that, that's cool. So Biz Markie, is Biz Markie real hip hop?
I wouldn't say so, based off of the criteria. I think he's a decent hip hop artist.
The Fat Boys,
they don't fit my standard of elite lyricism. They wouldn't be in my top five. Are they hip hop? Yeah, you know what I mean?
Because the Fat Boys aren't real hip hop.
Because again, when you ask me that, now I'm looking at it from a cultural standpoint as well as their lyricism.
They fit within the culture.
Yeah, they do. So I can sit here and say, yeah, we can sit here and say Run DMC. Are they hip hop? Yeah, absolutely. Are they top 5 lyricists? No. Are they elite lyricists? I don't think by a stretch. No. Probably for their time, yeah. But no. When I'm looking at
no,
you know what I mean, like that, yeah, they're hip hop. I mean, that's pretty much it. And even then, if you look at some of the stuff like, and I hate to be this dude, but 21 Savage versus motherfucking like 21 Savage versus like a Roxanne Shante. Roxanne Shante would be considered real hip hop over 21 Savage. See, the thing that I'm saying is it in genre wise, musically, right? We can agree that hip hop encompasses a lot of shit, right? But when you talk about real hip hop, the guys that he's saying are real hip hop wouldn't even identify themselves as real hip hop because of how the culture is sculpted. There's a particular niche sound and style that is real hip hop.
Biz Markie, or are you talking about the Migos?
I'm talking about Future and the Migos.
We'll get back to them, but so from what you're saying, Biz Markie and the Fat Boys are not real hip hop because not elite. That's what you would say in your opinion.
I would say because if we're talking about like, look, real hip hop kind of has like that old school, you could even call it like old school hip hop at some point, right? I think they're more like old school hip hop. I wouldn't say like the Fat Boys. I don't know them for making real hip hop records. I just don't. I don't know that. You know what I mean? When I think of like real hip hop, I'm thinking of like your KRS-Ones. I'm thinking of your Rakims. I'm thinking of your Eric B's. So yeah, I would go with those guys.
Those are the top tier dudes.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of people who you would consider hip hop that's not top tier dudes.
Well, let me ask you, do you understand where I'm coming from with this whole conversation?
I'm going to get to the cultural part in a second, but we got to establish this first. So as far as that, you don't listen to Biz Markie, you don't listen to him.
I'm trying to be as patient and as open as I can, and I know this is a tough conversation for both of us, but I'm just going to address the elephant in the room. Nobody on God's green earth within their right mind that understands hip-hop culture and hip-hop music are labeling Future and the Migos real hip-hop. No matter how much we try and
said that like 30,000 times.
Yeah, but no matter how many times we try and peel this back, we know what we're talking about. Who are we
But
explaining
see,
it?
this is the thing.
Who
This
are we
is the thing.
Who are we
This is where
explaining
the
it?
problem is.
Okay.
This is exactly where the problem is. People say Kanye ain't real. KRS-One said Kanye is not real hip hop.
Okay.
He said the graduation is not real hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
KRS-One, what he says is law to motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I had to draw the line.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, how is this not real hip hop?
Right,
This
right.
But see, you say right.
No, I'm with you
But
so far. I'm with you so far.
You agree that graduation is real hip hop.
I do. See, here's the thing. With KRS-One, timeout, KRS-One tries to take that ambassador role. I'm not a huge fan of that. I think that he says that more or less from, like, if you look at his interviews, he's a little bit jaded. You know what I mean? Like, but Kanye, I think that's a hip hop album.
Like, I'm not even going to go no further. I'm not even going to go into the cultural shit. Just that right there, me and you think that the graduation is real hip hop. KRS-One, who has way more credibility than either one of us combined. Both of us combined. You could even get 4 other motherfuckers. Got way more credibility than us. Says that Kanye graduation is not real hip hop. That in turn,
I would have to ask him how. Like, I understand.
That's what I've been asking you the whole time. And you said elite lyricism. I feel like Kanye's lyricism was fucking good on that album.
I think it is too. Now, when you look at that versus, and I'm just gonna take it to the extreme. You've been taking it to the extreme with the Miley Cyrus shit. We're still gonna take it into the extreme. We're gonna take Playboy Cardi, Magnolia versus Kanye West, Stronger. Which one is, if we had to go on a scale of real hip hop, which one would you call out first as real hip hop?
Dog, if you want me to keep it a buck, Stronger, I don't like Stronger.
All right.
I'm not even going to do that because I don't want to. He's blasphemous.
Bad example,
but
yeah,
my whole point is factually subjective because what you think is not the same what KRS-One thinks. It's not the same what Lord Jamar thinks.
But see, this is where I have to draw the line, because with that type of thinking, where we're like, it's subjective, it allows people beyond the culture to put together articles and put out media blitzes elevating some of these stars that aren't considered real hip hop within the genre.
Who get rejected within the culture.
Well, see, here's the thing. My problem with this, and again, going back to Lonzo Ball and what he said, is plain as day. I keep bringing it back to this because that's what we're talking about. These guys that he's labeling real hip hop wouldn't label themselves real hip hop. They've never said that. And they've never displayed the behaviors of somebody that we consider real hip hop. Like I said, when we talk about hip hop from a cultural standpoint, we know it. That's why when we have debates and conversations about who's the top artist, top 5 dead or alive, this, that, and the third, the culture, people engulfed in the culture and understand the culture are able to have a conversation on the same wavelength. My problem is people who don't understand the culture misrepresenting the culture or trying to paint a false equivalency on what the culture is.
I'll say this, because I'm not going back into that whole debate. You can, if you listening to this, you can go back and listen to this shit and just re-listen to it because we done went in circles with the shit.
Yeah, we only gonna keep going in circles, Will.
But I will say this, just keeping it a whole buck, you cannot say Nas is outdated or you can't diss Nas.
Nah.
Then say in the same sentence with the same mouth that the Migos and Future are real hip hop. I feel like that's you trying to be extremely disrespectful for no reason.
And you know what? I agree with you. And
Because
I'm gonna.
I'm not going to debate about them being real hip hop or not. We already did that. But
I
at
would.
the same time, for you to like really just say you outdated, Nas is not relevant. These guys right now are real hip hop. It's like, why did you do that? That's what
Yeah.
they need another interview with that motherfucker.
That's
Because you
that.
can't leave it at just that. Like, I know you're ignorant, but I need you to
And you know what?
clarify
And I
on
think
exactly what you said.
And I think that's why I feel a certain way about it, because Nas is considered the prototype for real hip hop.
It's just like how I said at the start.
So
It's certain people on the East Coast. If you from New York and you're a basketball player from New York and you play for DC or Philly
Or the Knicks.
or Boston, somewhere in that East Coast pocket, and you say something like
E40 is trash.
no.
All right.
Nobody listen to Nas. Nobody listen to Nas out anymore. Nobody listen to Jay. Nobody listen to Big. They outdated. It's gonna be hard for you when you go to get them hot dogs at Coney Island.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard
Yeah.
for you when you go to get a Philly cheesesteak. It's gonna be hard for you when you walking through Boston Park or whatever the fuck.
But
it's gonna be hard for you. He did not say, if he had said, nobody listen to Snoop, nobody listen to Corrupt, nobody listen to Exhibit, nobody listen to Dre, nobody listen to Cube, it would have been all bad for the kid.
Yeah, and that's my biggest hang up on it is if I had to simplify what it is that I'm trying to convey, when people think Nas, they immediately think real hip hop because that's what he predicated his style on. That's the reputation he developed. So for you to be like he's outdated, but the dude that's the prototype for real hip hop, we completely take that and it's like putting his image
you're right.
completely on the opposite
He
of
is
what
the
he
beginning
is.
of the pinnacle of what lyricism could be. Like niggas like him, Biggie, Big Pun. I mean, and
Big
even then,
L.
some of those people came years after Nas was out. But Nas was one of the first cats who really created the pinnacle of what lyricism was going to be.
I don't know.
For the duration of hip hop after that.
Illmatic in the culture is held to such high regard as a classic because when it came out, it really sculpted the sound of the East Coast and New York. It had a huge impact, not just on New York, but the genre as a whole. So like that's really my biggest hang up. Like for him to be like the dude that y'all call real hip hop is outdated. Everything that he stood for doesn't mean anything anymore.
Even if his shit is outdated, you don't disrespect that man.
Yeah. So, but I will say this, and we'll wrap this up. If anybody feels that the Migos and Future are real hip hop,
Hit DTown on Twitter.
hit me up on Twitter, leave it in the comments. I want to hear your argument as to why and how. And you need to be able to articulate yourself very well so I can understand it, because I haven't come across a person who's able to articulate it to a point where it actually makes sense. And keep in mind, you probably doing that, letting you know now, is going to be nearly impossible because I grew up on the shit. I know what the shit is, and I know I am very engulfed in the culture. So you would have to do a lot to change my mind.
The Fat Boys ain't hip hop, by the way.
Real hip hop.
Real hip hop. They not real hip-hop.
Real, no. They rap. That's
My nigga said they old school, but they not really real.
Because I feel like they're like more party records. They're like kind of like, and this is me. I haven't listened to them, so I feel like
record.
I mean, I don't know enough about their music to weigh in on that. Let me say that.
Rap was started by xOquhK as block parties.
Yeah,
with MCs.
And hey, that's hip hop. You know what I mean? Like at the essence, by default, at the core, they would have to be that. They would have to be that because the elements that they developed, which would be the turntablism and all of that shit, a lot of that is present on Nas's album, which we consider like one of the prototypes for real hip hop. So,
shout out to DJ Premier.
Primo. But nah, man, let's wrap this thing up, man. I feel like we've been talking for like 2.5 hours.
Probably. I don't even got the timer running. So, going over this shit one more time, just very quickly. you know, I ain't even gonna get into all my shit. Mello Dee Beats on IG, MELLODEEBEATS on Instagram. Follow me, mellodeebeats.com. That's all I got going on. Open Secrets Podcast, check it out. The regular podcast, Kilo. You know we retweet this shit on SoundCloud all the time.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Don't forget, I've got the sale going on till September 25th. You can get your hoodies, you can get your t-shirts, you can get your tank tops. You know, I mean, I got coffee mugs on sale. You know, I got motherfucking iPhone cases on sale and shit. We got all of that shit, you know what I mean? So support independent hip-hop, you know what I mean? This is Industry Rule, number 4080, episode 19, all up in your butt,
Disgusting.
Well, you told me to end the episodes differently because I was just shouting out random blocks in Youngstown.
But at the time, man, all right, I'll take that over that shit,
man.
So, you know, man. Yeah, we out, man.
I just want to do the
bang
outro.
bang scooter gang.
Flocka, I go hard in the.